and welcome to Nana's Crafty Home. My name is Tanya. Today's tutorial is going to show you how to crochet the interlocking arched column stitch. This stitch is going to be used in an upcoming poncho pattern that I will have as a free pattern on my website. This stitch is a variation of one of my earlier stitches that I created for the Just Peachy Hat pattern. So this stitch has a lot of visual interest, almost a woven look. Actually mimics a little bit Tunisian crochet as well, and particularly when you're working it in more than one color. It gives it a lot of pop and a very unique look. You're only going to need to know how to work a single crochet, double crochet, and a chain in order to make this stitch. For this tutorial, I am using 2 colors of Lion Brand's Basic Stitch Premium yarn in cream and saffron. Really great contrasting colors. And I'm also using a Clover size H 5.0 millimeter crochet hook. Let's go ahead and get started. To resize this stitch, you're going to be working your foundation chain in multiples of 2 plus 5. For my sample here, I'm going to start with a chain of 35. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to work a double crochet in the 5th chain from the hook. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Double crochet, chain 1. Those skip chains from the beginning here are going to count as my first double crochet plus a chain 1. I'm going to skip the next chain and work a double crochet, chain 1 in that next chain. Skip the next chain, double crochet, chain 1 in the next. And I'm going to repeat that all the way down my chain. Skipping a chain, working a double crochet, chain 1 in between, and I end up with these chain 1 spaces for this row. So continue working that same pattern to the end of your chain. When I get to the end of my chain, I'm going to work a double crochet in that last chain. Now I'm going to switch colors with that last double crochet, pulling in my new color, turn, chain 1. So row 2 begins with a chain 1, single crochet in the first stitch. Now I'm going to be working a double crochet in the skipped chain from the previous row. So this skipped chain from that first row, I'm going to work a double crochet, and I'm going to be working it in front of that chain 1. I'm not going to be working around it. So I'm going to be yarning over and inserting my hook into that skipped chain. But you can see here that chain 1, that stitch is behind me. I'm not working around it. So then I'm going to finish my double crochet by yarning over, pulling through 2, and yarning over and pulling through 2. And you can see that that chain 1 is behind my double crochet stitch that I just worked. And then it gets anchored with a single crochet in the next stitch. And I'm working that single crochet in the top of that double crochet stitch from that previous row. And I'm just going to be repeating that. Double crochet in that skip chain, inserting my hook into that skip chain. And you can see I'm pushing my hook in front of that chain 1. I don't want to go all the way through that chain 1 space. I want to keep my hook in front of my work here, and then finishing my double crochet, single crochet in the next stitch, and then continue that down your row. Row 2 is going to be the right side of your work. So the one that we're working right now will be the right side or the good side of your work. You could certainly choose to make the other side the right side if you wish. They are nicely textured on both sides, but I do prefer the look of this. So continue that on down your row. So when you get to the end of your row, I've worked a single crochet in that stitch. What I have left for this row are those skipped chains from the beginning. And remember I said those would count as my first double crochet and a chain 1. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to be working a double crochet in that 4th chain. So this chain down here at the bottom, I'm going to work a double crochet. It's going to be a little awkward. So just hold on to that chain 4 there with your fingers to keep it in place. Finish your double crochet, and then you're going to be coming back up here, skipping that first chain and working a single crochet in the top of that chain 3. We're going to move on to row 3, and we're going to chain 4. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. That again is going to count as my first double crochet and chain 1 throughout my pattern. I'm going to skip that next stitch and double crochet in the next. Chain 1, skip the next stitch, double crochet in the next. Chain 1, skip the next stitch, double crochet in the next. And you're just going to repeat that down your row. We get to the end of our row, skip the next stitch, double crochet in the last. Now because I'm changing colors, I'm going to be changing back to my color A. And what I generally do if I'm going to be working a border, or if those yarn jogs that are going to happen aren't going to be visible in my finished project, I'm just going to pull gently that yarn back up into my work. And you can see you end up with this visible yarn jog, but in the majority of patterns, you're either going to be seaming or you're going to be working a border, so it will cover that up nicely. You could certainly cut and pull in colors as you'd like, and then just weave in those ends. That is completely up to you. So for row 4, you're going to chain 1, then we're going to single crochet in that same stitch, and now I'm going to be working a double crochet again in that skipped stitch from the previous row. But this time I'm going to be working it behind that chain 1. So I'm going to yarn over and I'm going to come in from behind. So I'm going to pull my hook down through that stitch behind the chain 1 and finish my double crochet. Single crochet in the next stitch. Double crochet in that skipped stitch behind that chain 1. So it helps if you just pull that forward a little bit and you can just insert your hook into that stitch and finish your double crochet. So that's generally how I work that stitch, is I just kind of pull my work forward as I'm working it, inserting my hook and finishing my double crochet. And you can see I can even hold it out of the way here, and then single crochet in the next, and then continue that on down your row. When you get to the end of your row, I've worked a single crochet. I'm going to be working a double crochet in that skipped stitch, and again this is that chain 4, which counts as my first double crochet plus a chain 1. I'm going to be working behind it in that skipped stitch, and then I want to work a single crochet in the top of that chain 3. So that chain 1 I skipped, and then I'm going to turn for row 5 and chain 4. 1, 2, 3 and 4, and I'm going to just repeat again, skip the next stitch, double crochet in the next, chain 1, skip the next stitch, double crochet in the next, and just repeat that down your row. Get to the end of your row, skip the next stitch, double crochet in the last, and again I'm going to pull up my next color. Gently, don't pull too hard. Don't want to bunch your work. And for row 6, chain 1, single crochet in that same stitch, and we're going to be working a double crochet in front of that chain 1. So skip stitch down below, working in front of that chain 1, double crochet, single crochet in the next stitch, double crochet in front of the chain 1, in that skip stitch, single crochet in the next. And we're going to be repeating that all the way down our row. We get to the end of our row, double crochet in front of that chain 1, that last skipped stitch from the previous row, and then in that chain 4, single crochet in the top of that chain 3. And let's take a look at what we have here. So you can see here, by using the 2 colors, this really highlights the stitch, and I believe that it really makes those stitches pop. So basically what you're going to be doing now is you're just going to be repeating rows 3 to 6 to the desired size in your pattern. So you can see I've worked several rows, and look at how beautiful this stitch works up. Really has a lot of pop, some visual interest. It even looks lovely on the, what I would call the wrong side, but you can see here both sides are really gorgeous, and you could choose whichever side you like for your pattern. I hope you've enjoyed this tutorial today. Thanks so much for being with me. As always, remember to subscribe to my YouTube channel so you never miss a new video. Be sure to share, like, and subscribe so that others can find my work as well, and that's a great way of supporting my channel. You can find all of my free patterns and tutorials at nanascraftyhome.com. Feel free to reach out to me if you have any questions. Thanks again. Take care. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.